You know, the way they've painted reality, I think they think that at this point I don't see them for what they are. I was hearing this child, like they like to use children because children can block out reality. Now, testimonials, and still today is still happening. The way they treat children in this program is horrible. They torture them. They torture them. They do horrible things. They burn them. And to hear this woman say, talking to me, thinking that she's being a fierce protector of children, and the torture they do to children. If somebody thinks too much about it, it's dangerous. As a target individual, if you start thinking about not only what they're doing to you, but what they do to children, that's when aggression can really be the highest. And that's when you don't even care if they're children or not involved in this program, because you know what they do to children. And what they do to kids is so horrible. But this the way they want you to somehow not think about it. It's just like if you gaslight yourself as a perp, I'm not gonna forget the reality. If you have normalized being involved in a program that's capable of doing these horrible things to children, I haven't. I will never let this thing be a normal thing to do because the government is doing that. Because the Department of Defense is doing that, that is employing you to do these things to me. To hear a grown woman who's trying to be fierce, not with me, the one thing I look back and I'm like, oh, what was I think as a child, is what I did to myself that time as a kid. And it's things that just is embarrassing me, but I understand a child at that age can do that. But there's things that try to make me feel guilty of that I don't even like. You serious? You know, there's one thing, if you go into my videos, because they talk about you abuse, you did this. When I was a kid in middle school, I remember hitting my cousin with my two fingers on her in the forearm, doing this, right? This is not gonna harm you. Like, it's just maybe the little stink, but it's not. It's not like, beating you and something. Nobody's like, oh my gosh, I was abused. That he was hitting me with two fingers on my forearm, and that's not the truth. But to me just doing that, right now, I just felt my skin feeling pain because they have done these things to my skin. Right? They play with your nerve system. So you feel sensitivity when you don't. Matter of fact, you can even leave mark just by doing what I just did. It's not because of what I did. It's because my skin, something's happening to my body. Right? These people create a reality based on things they can put together and make you think this way. For example, because now I'm getting these marks on my body because I'm reacting this way. They make me think, oh, that's what happened to that kid when you were doing that to her. When you were doing this on her forearm. When the truth is, no. It's because you're doing this thing to my body, and my body is reacting this way. And so this is why I'm having this mark. It's not because this is painful. It's because something's happening to my skin. And this is happening to my skin because they're doing things to my body via this technology. But the way they try to create reality, and this is why it's a cognitive warfare, they want you to start seeing things in these ways. It's a mental manipulation to make you believe, you see, you done that, was abused. These people torture children, right? You understand these are people who literally suffocate children. They are torturing kids. They can laugh about it, they can try to block it out, but the reality is this. The testimony is there. I was on a call and this accidentally pressed play on the testimony of a child being tortured. I don't care if you're going to laugh about this testimony. I don't care if you're going to try to block it out, but I know this is what you're involved in. As you try to make me feel guilty for even doing this. Now, to hear a child like, no, that's serious. Some kids said that, oh my goodness. I was like, that's the moment when you have to find a way to calm down. You have to find a way to just relax because at this point you have been hearing the testimonies, the horrible things you've done what they've done to children. You have heard the way they make these kids scream and be in pain. And this is not too long ago. This is happening today. And this trash saying, it's serious. Want you to somehow go into this retardation of reality for people who are torturing children. These people use defense technology to harm children. Do you think it's a middle schooler doing this to a forearm that is abusing children, or is what they do to? The anger comes from understanding that they want me to think in this way. To escape from reality. This is damn near evil, not just because they do that to me, but they do this horrible things to children. And to hear these people, because they want to sound this way, and think that sounding childlike is going to counter the reality that children are actually being tortured. If I see these people and I think about the horrible things they do to kids that they like to say nothing about, it's easy to be triggered to be harmful to somebody. Because you know this bottom feeder is in a program that tortures children and wants you to circumvent and bypass the reality that they torture children and want you to feel guilty. Remember when you did this too. It just takes, you gotta calm down as a target individual. You have to calm down. You have to put things back in perspective. Relax. You have mothers who have no shame. I was on the call with this woman. She'd been humiliated by reality. Every time she was like, no, we're this femme fatale group. I was like, what? There's a mass shooting that just killed a child. You fucking low life. This kid, Aaron Young, will never be alive. Well, never be alive. He'll never be around. He's dead. He's no longer with us. A child, only 14-year-old. You are here to talk about. And like, oh, I feel bad. Don't feel bad. Don't worry. But just don't leave that fantasy. That's all I'm asking. I don't care. I don't care about this perps feeling guilty or not. I don't care about that. I don't care how they feel. Matter of fact, I know they're nothing. As a matter of fact, I don't care if I hope they go to sleep well at night. I hope that they don't have nothing. But one thing I will never allow them to do is to be involved in a program that does these horrible things to children and somehow think they can look at themselves in the mirror and protectors of children. You are here suffocating children. You heard the testimonies? They radiate, suffocating a 7-year-old child with autism and being involved in a program that is doing that. Try to think they can distance them. You cannot involve in a program that does these harmful things to children. And try to distance yourself from the horrible things that consist of torturing children. No. And then try to make me feel guilty of me as a kid doing this to a kid. This, while these people are literally involved in a program that radiates, suffocates, sexually torture children and get them sick to that point. I cannot let them live their fantasy. They cannot even do anything to me unless they're in a program that tortures children. I don't care how childlike these trash are. For them to escape, never. Never. From the psychological to the physical torture, all of that, I've heard it. I know what they do. I know what they're capable of doing. I know who they go. These piece of shits have sold their soul to governmental entities that torture the most vulnerable. Some of them themselves has the hands-on expertise of doing that to children, and they want you to somehow look at them and think that, oh, they're protecting you, piece of shit. I am not an aggressive person. I heard this person go for it, saying go for it as in be aggressive to somebody, trash you. The person saying that to me is the person who will definitely not be harmed. But this bottom fears talk about serious. It is very serious to harm children in the ways you guys do these things to. It is not only serious, it is life-changing. To burn a child using technology to suffocate a child, to do all these horrible things that no radiation on its own. What does it do to the health of a child? I can never let these people go into escapism. I don't care how young they are. Matter of fact, it's for me important to show them this. Because as children, at that point, they're so influenceable that they're going to think that this is a normal thing to do. That you can be involved in a program that literally tortures children. And as long as you just block it out, it's not true. It's not happening. No. It's my duty now, my purpose for these bottom feeders, no matter how old they are, to understand you're involved in a program that does these mean things to children. You should look at yourself what you really are. For these cowards that can speak to you in this tonality, can watch you die in there, but this trash that in a program that violates children, abuse them and torture them, then try to vilify you for when you're a kid doing this to a child. This while rating a child. You know what these people deserve. For me, I can't wait to see this person in front of me. I can't wait to see this trash in front of me. I can't wait to see a grown woman with some logic try to make me believe that this should be accepted. They know. And listen, I know she's a nothing, the one talking to me. She can be dying tomorrow in the hospital bed. I won't know. I won't even care. I won't even care. Tomorrow she can kill herself. I won't even care. These perps talking to me, I know they're not bad. Nothings. And trust me, I know they're far from God's. This confidence is the confidence of being do that to somebody who's a target individual. The government is basically allocating whatever resources needed to get the results out of this test subject. I know the reality of this person. Today she can be suicidal. But talking to me can be feeling like God. They are nobodies, truly. Truly. They can't even say the name, the first and last name of a man that picked up kids as young as 14. I can make them sweat bullets just by saying this name. I can do that in front of them. I've seen. I can't wait to see this grown woman looking. And he's just like, listen, I understand. You are dumbing yourself down. I understand what you're doing. I know you're not that retarded. I understand. You're even trying to maintain character because you know what you do. You want me to believe this false reality. It's like, nah, you're a threat. These people are killing children, literally. And sorry, it's not even killing, because killing would be nice. It's a slow kill. It's a slow kill. So when I hear them try to find ways, now you abuse, no, you abuse, you torture. This done to a child is not, I can't even believe I'm saying that. These people torture children. But the reason why I'm saying that, I guess, is because I get to see them one day. I get to see them. So if you think that you, in a program that tortured children, want me to forget that you torture children, and I'm going to think that me doing this as a kid, this to a kid, while you're in a program that tortured children and suffocate them, yo, my gosh, make the mistake. Make the mistake. Make the mistake. Target individual. These people take away reality and rationality. They are the threat to children. They harm children. They torture children. They abuse children. They violate children. They do all these horrible things to children. And they will look for whatever they can to make you believe that you're the one who's a threat to children. They're going to try to even torture me to block out the reality of how much of a threat they are to children. What they deserve is not on this earth. But like I said, everything has its time. I'm talking to a trash who can do everything they want to me, but cannot even say the name of a man who picked up kids. They can't. They can speak in the most fierce tonality you can imagine, but couldn't even say his name. Because the reality is, there's just the bottom feeder for these governmental entities that truly are a threat to children in ways that's beyond. And these piece of shits talking to you, these perps, are involved in some of the most disturbing things you can imagine, but also done to children. When I see a woman who thinks that her woman aspect of things change the reality, or mother who can try to make me accept, oh, you doing this. So, and matter of fact, even me doing this right now, I have a coat on, I can feel my skin reacting to that. I should forget the way they are babies. I'm like, imagine your 3-week-old babies being tortured the way. Because this thing they do to my skin, like I said before, this is not unique to me. I'm expecting worse. You know, they talk about how my skin's gonna slowly peel. That's because this is why I'm feeling this pain. It's extra sensitive. But they do that to 3-week-old. This trash will die. Matter of fact, the people talking to me, tomorrow they can die, I won't even know, and I honestly wouldn't care. If they show me in the deathbed, this is the person that was talking to you saying all these things. Oh, well, okay, well, all right, who's next? Who's the next one doing this thing to me? But I will never let these people, first of all, give this fantasy of grandeur. They're just trash. 2, that they're protecting children and women. No. If anything, they're the danger to women and children. And what they've done to women and children will be handled correctly. Everything has its time. Everything. Target individual, stay strong, see this low life what they are. And for these childlike perps that wants to use their childlikeness to make you believe that what they're involved in shouldn't be seen as what they're involved in, target individual, see them as a way for them to see themselves right. Maybe this is going to help them see things the right way because they've been groomed to be able to torture children. Stay strong.